Hello, USA soccer fans, football fans. Bobby Cardenas coming at you from Lancaster, California. Monday evening, the 30th of March, in my referee uniform, because I am going to touch on a few points of the laws of refereeing, but more so the mechanics that we utilize as referees. But before that, I have to tell you about what's gone on in the international calendar. Yes, they call it a calendar there too, because there's dates and then there's games played on there. Between the friendlies and the Euro qualifiers. So, I touched on in my last post some of the games that happened last Thursday and Friday. So I will touch on today what happened Saturday and yesterday Sunday and what's coming up tomorrow. Okay. So Saturday, Argentina 2, El Salvador, the country of my mother, 0. Sorry, Mom, but it is what it is. Mexico, the country of my father, versus Ecuador. Mexico won 1-0. So half of my bloodline won a game. I'm called a Salmex because Salvador, that's something else. Okay, Chile, who's going to host the Copa America this summer, lost to Iran, or Iran, whichever way you want to say it. They lost 2-0. So far, the losing countries are going 0. Okay. I have to also touch on the MLS. The LA Galaxy on Saturday traveled to DC United and were tied 0-0 till the absolute last minute of stoppage time or extra time. And they gave up a goal and lost 1-0. I'm going to come back and talk about that from a refereeing standpoint and from a player standpoint. Okay, let's give you some of the other scores real quick. So, Sunday, Brazil played, Chile played 2 games in 2 days because they didn't use all their big players in the game versus Iran, like Alexis Sanchez, Vidal. So they used them Sunday against Brazil. It was a little friendly. 1-0 Brazil won. And let me tell you something. It was a very chippy game. We're going to go into that also from refereeing. It was bad. Germany traveled to Georgia in a Euro qualifier and won 2-0. Netherlands in a qualifier had to come back to draw late in the game. Turkey 1-1. Portugal had to come back to beat Serbia 2-1 in a qualifier. France in a friendly at France beat Denmark 2-0. Denmark had beaten the United States last week in a friendly 3-2. Then they had a friendly for Liverpool fans, for the English Premier League fans, because they didn't play their regular schedule. So they had a team, All-Stars, one team headed by Steven Gerrard, and another team by Carragher, who recently retired from Steven Carragher, who recently retired from Liverpool. So they each had all-stars. Players like Drogba came back. Luis Suarez, the Vampiro, came back. Torres came back. Thierry Henry, whom I don't like, and I'll tell you why later. He came back to play. Anyway, they did it for charity, and it ended up 2-2 draw. Steven Gerrard scored 2 PKs for his side of All-Stars, and they tied 2-2. Okay, so that's it for the scores. Tomorrow, though, Switzerland plays the United States, 9 a.m., Fox Sports 1, Channel 219, DirecTV. Israel plays Belgium in a qualifier, 11:30 a.m., Fox Sports 1, also 219. Netherlands plays Spain in a friendly. Ooh, that's going to be a friggin' game. 11:45 a.m. on beIN Sport 6:20 if you have DirecTV. And then Mexico plays Paraguay, 6 p.m. ESPN 2, channel 209 tomorrow. That's just a friendly. Okay, so now let's get to some of the refereeing points. Now, first of all, for those of you that don't know, that maybe joined my channel recently or started watching my posts, I was a USSF, United States Soccer Federation referee, officially for 15 years, from about 95 to 2010. This was my last badge, 2010, when I retired officially, doing club, other types of games, recreational games. I still referee in my AFL, Antelope Football League, and I keep up with the laws of the game, so I can still ref. But mostly I oversee the refs that we have from the association doing our games. I was also a high school ref. Okay. Anyway, and these are some of the things we use. We use a coin, right, to flip. We use whistles. You should always have two. One that you have in your hand, another one in your pocket in case this one gets knocked away, fails, broken, whatever. Two watches in case somehow you stop this one accidentally or the battery fails. You have a second one. You have your yellow and red cards, your cautioned, your send-offs, and of course you have your book, right, that you keep your stats in. Oh, it's a little hot right there. Camera, that's a camera term. And of course a pen, and I always have a spare pen in the other pocket. Okay, so let's talk about the Galaxy game. Literally, there were 3 minutes of stoppage time added, and literally in the third minute, with seconds to go, DC United scores a goal. Why? Because the Galaxy became lackadaisical and forgot that you ultimately play to the final whistle. This brings me to a point about mechanics. The final whistle. When a referee signals for the game to end, he should do 3 whistles. You should do a whistle. I'm not going to really do it because it would be very loud. The way you should do a whistle, and this is the way I do it. You whistle, you put your hand up. On the second whistle, you put your arm towards the center of the field. And on the third whistle, you bring your other arm, your second arm, of course, to signal that's the end of the game. Game's over. For the first half, the way you should signal that should be 2 whistles. That's the end of the first half, 2 whistles. I've seen a lot of referees on the fields doing it totally wrong, especially when they do this whistle. They do the first long one, and then they do 2 quick ones. It's horrible. They should be evenly spaced out, either the 2 whistles for the first half or the 3 whistles for the end of the game. So always play to the whistle because you never know when the game's over. And in the friendly that Brazil had with Chile, Martin Atkinson, big-time English referee, Barclays Premier League ref, even though it's a friendly, the game deteriorated into, did I say that right? Did I say deteriorated properly? Sometimes I get a little tongue twisted. He should have issued a couple of, more of these and a few of these. Because no matter what, even though it's a friendly, as a referee, you're supposed to utilize the laws properly. And if the laws require you to use those cards, then you do. Doesn't matter whether it's friendly or not. Because unfortunately what happened is they started really nailing each other, and Neymar got hurt. You got to freaking say, do your job as a referee, no matter what match it is, whether it's a friendly, whether it's a recreational match, an adult recreational match like we do with the AFL, or it's a club, or it's a kids record. Just do it properly using your common sense, but deal with certain matters that need to be dealt with so the game does not deteriorate. The game has to be a great experience for everyone. Okay, that's it. I have to send you guys off because I have to go back and still watch highlights. And more importantly, since this is over, I'm a civilian now. So Savasky, I can do one of these. See, I'm letting loose. Say no to racism and go with USA, especially tomorrow against Switzerland. So cheers, tally ho, chip chip, and all that. Why the hell am I speaking with an English accent when I'm talking about the USA? Okay, good night.